Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Myself, Shamsher Khan, InfoSec trainer and team member of OWASP Cuttack. We just started a series on Python 3 for application security. Welcome to the scanning section where we will code multiple tools for network security scanning and application security scanning. Before go to tools, we need to understand what is socket programming and socket module. So let's understand what is socket programming. Socket is a program that enables two sockets to send and receive data bidirectionally at any given moment. It works by connecting two sockets or nodes together and allowing them to communicate in a real time. And it is a great option to building thousands of apps. So we can create multiple apps by using socket which will communicate together. Why use socket to send data? Internet connected application that need to operate in a real time greatly from the implementation of socket in their networking code. Some extra apps that use socket programming are, we know that these apps. The web pages that slow live notification. There is Facebook, Twitch, eBay, and multiplayer online games, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, and another chat apps is WhatsApp, WeChat, Slack, real-time data dashboard, Robinhood, Coinbase. IoT devices is Nest and August Locks. So these are applications are work on socket module or network programming. So let's understand more about this. Python socket programming. So let's see how does socket define in Python. Natively, Python provides a socket class. So developer can easily implement socket in their source code. We can start implementing socket in our program with three simple steps. The first step is import socket library in our program. To use a socket object in your program, start off by importing the socket library like this, import socket. So by using this sentence, import socket, we will define that we want to import a socket library in our program. The second step is build socket objects. So to create a socket object, we need to first define a variable. We can choose any name variable and then socket.socket. It is called socket object, socket.socket. In a socket object, we need to define a socket.af underscore inet, comma, socket.sock underscore stream. That means the first part of this is af underscore inet is defined, is denoted to IP version 4 address, and sock underscore stream is denote to TCP communication. This code create a socket object that we are storing in a sock variable. The constructor provide a family and type parameter respectively. So this is the family and type parameter. The family is IP version 4 address and the type parameter is TCP connection. Now AF underscore inet means the networking layer underneath is IP version 4, which we will already tell. Other possible values are AF underscore Unix and another is AF underscore inet 6. This will represent IP version 6 address, and AF underscore Bluetooth. So you can easily know about that. AF underscore Bluetooth is denote to a Bluetooth address. Other than sock underscore stream is used for TCP connection. There is also sock underscore DG-RAM for UDP connection. But mostly we will use in our program is sock underscore stream for the TCP connection. Let's check the socket API. The primary socket API function and methods in this module are we will use socket function, bind function, listen function, accept function, connect function, connect underscore x function, send function, receive and close function. So in our further programs, we will about to use these functions. Every function has their own work. So let's see, create a simple server program. So let's check this program. So now we will create tool in the name server. So here I am using the nano tool to create a file which is server.py. So let's first start a shebang line for Python3. Now import the module called socket. So we import the library called socket. Now next create a socket object. So I'm using a variable to create a socket object, socket.socket. Socket successfully created. Now we choose a port number 1234. So in my case, I will choose a port number 1234. Now bind this address. So we need to bind the port. We have not typed any IP in the IP field. Instead, we have inputted an empty string. This makes the server listen to a request coming from other computers on a network. So we leave the empty field of our IP address. Now put the socket into the listen mode. Socket is listening, a forever loop until we interrupt it or an error occurs. While loop. C, addr s.connect accept. Got connection from the address. C dot send function to the client. The send function send the string to the client is thank you for connecting. So that's it. Now I will save the tool or program and create. So you can see that server.py is this. Now we need client.py. One more thing we forget to add is to close the connection. By using close function. So now again save it, and now we will create a client.py with the adding of a shebang line So you know already about that. First we will need to import the socket module or a socket library. Import socket. Now create a socket object, same as we do in a server. Socket. Now define the port number on which you want to connect. 1 2 3 4. I think 1 2 3 4 is already taken. Now connect to the server on a local computer. So s.co connect by using connect function. The local computer IP address is 127.0.0.1 and the port number is the port variable. Now receive data from the server. To receive data from the server, we use s.receive function. The data of the size we receive is 1024 bytes. Now close the connection from the server. That's it. So now our client program is also created. Now save this program and let's run the server first. After the server program is executed, then we need to start client program. I have a 2 tab in my terminal. In a first tab, I will start server program, and in a second, I will start client program. So let's see. Start the server program on port number 1234. The server is listening. That means the socket is listening. So now we need to start the client program. So when we start the client program, you can see there is an error that is called a type error in a c.send. The data which will send from the server to the client is called a byte like object is required. So we need to open server program and add the byte for B binary data which will print. So now start the server again. So address already in use. So now we need to wait for a minute or a second to execute our program again. After 1 minute we try. So now everything is good. Let's again a client.py. So now you can see that thank you for connecting. The data which will show here by from sending the server.py. The server send us thank you for connecting message, and the server received the data from the client.py, got connection from the 127.0.0.1 on a port number 58062. So here you can see that the server and the client is connected to each other by using socket programming, Python3. So let's cancel this and move on to our next topic. So this is the last topic which I will tell you, Python Internet Module. A list of some important module in a Python network and internet programming, which we will use in a further programs. So you can see that the protocol is HTTP, FTP, NTP, SMTP, Telnet, POP3, Cooper, and their default port number is 80, 20, 199, 25, 23. And their library to which protocol we will use is HTTP-lib for working in HTTP. URL-lib is also in a HTTP, and XMLRPC-lib. It is also used in a HTTP protocol. So this library is used for web pages. For the FTP protocol, we need to use ftplib Python library, or we can also use urllib. So these libraries used to file transferring programs. Same for NNTP, NNTPlib, SMTP, SMTPlib, Telnet, Telnetlib, or POP3 is POPlib. And their function: fetching emails, document transfer, command lines, sending emails, unsent news, as all. So after the next video, we will start our first program of a Python 3 using Python 3. We create a simple port scanner using socket in a next video. So bye. Thank you for watching.